Hi, I'm John Stevenson. We're going to be looking at the end of the journey of the Israelites, Numbers chapters 25 through 36, in our ongoing study of the book of Numbers. We left off where the Israelites had bypassed the lands of Moab and Ammon and had captured that territory just to the east of the Jordan River. It was while they were here that the king of Moab had hired Balaam, sort of a prophet for hire, a prophet for profit, to get him to curse the Israelites. And he had refused to do so, but he had come up, and we're going to find out about that now, he had come up with an alternate plan. If you can't beat them, join them. And so he, at his urging, the Moabites become friendly with the Israelites, and here, why don't you come join us and worship our gods? And as a result, we're going to see this internal attack, not an external attack, not warriors coming and fighting against Israel, but a spiritual attack that takes place as apostasy now comes into the camp. Numbers chapter 25 verse 1, while Israel remained at Shittim, the people began to play the harlot with the daughters of Moab, for they invited the people to sacrifice of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their gods. So Israel joined themselves to Baal of Peor, and the Lord was angry against Israel. So Moses said to each of the judges of Israel, each of you slay his men who have joined themselves to Baal of Peor. Then behold, one of the sons of Israel came and brought to his relatives a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the sons of Israel while they were weeping at the doorway of the tent of meeting. He, in a spirit of rebellion, says, no, I'm going to take her and going to take her in a sort of a fleshly way. When Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose from the midst of the congregation and took a spear in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent and pierced both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through the body. So the plague on the sons of Israel was checked, and those who died by the plague were 24,000. Notice the curse that the prophet Balaam could not bring upon Israel, they brought on themselves because of their sinful behavior. This is a foreshadowing of what could possibly take place when they went into Canaan if they find themselves mixing with the Canaanites. Next, we read of the taking of the census of the new generation. In verse 51, we see that these are those who were numbered of the sons of Israel, 601,730. That's a huge number. And notice it's not rounded off to the nearest 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. We're down, perhaps to the nearest 10. That's a huge number. And scholars have struggled over that number, and I don't know what else to do except just to leave it as it is. The Israelites had multiplied greatly. We read that to the larger group, God says, you will increase their inheritance, and to the smaller group you shall diminish their inheritance. Each shall be given their inheritance according to those who were numbered of them. These are those who were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the sons of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. But among these there was not a man of those who were numbered by Moses and Aaron the priest, who numbered the sons of Israel in the wilderness at Sinai. Remember, the entire generation of those who had come out of Egypt, they had died. Of all that are numbered here, not a single one had been a part of that group that had come out of Egypt. This was the new generation. For the Lord had said of them, they shall surely die in the wilderness, and not a man was left of them, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. They were the two patriarchs that were still alive. Verse 27, we see the inheritance for daughters. It's interesting. We're going to come back to that again in chapter 36. And then Joshua is chosen as the new leader of the Israelites. Verse 20, chapter 27, verse 12, then the Lord said to Moses, go up to this mountain of Abarim and see the land which I have given to the sons. When you have seen it, you too will be gathered to your people. Now that's not going to take place until the end of the book of Deuteronomy. But Moses is told, then you'll be gathered to your people as Aaron your brother was, for in the wilderness of Zin during the strife of the congregation, you rebelled against my command to treat me as holy before their eyes. And just in case you don't remember, these are the waters of Meribah of Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. That's that time when Moses struck the rock when he was told to speak to the rock. So the Lord said to Moses, take Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. The laying on of hands signifies that the Spirit that is in Moses is going to pass on now to Joshua, and have him stand before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and commission him in their sight. You shall put some of your authority on him, in order that all the congregation of the sons of Israel may obey him. So this is going to be a passing of the mantle. There won't be any question as to who's in charge once Moses dies. Next, we see the ordinances in chapters 28 through 30. In 28 and 29, we have various feasts that are mentioned. We've seen some of that in the book of Leviticus. And then in chapter 30, there's some regulations about making of vows. Again, we saw that in Leviticus as well. Next, in chapter 31, there is judgment against Midian. Numbers 31:14, Moses was angry at the officers of the army, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds who had come from service in the war. And Moses said to them, have you spared all the women? Behold, these caused the sons of Israel through the counsel of Balaam. You see, we weren't sure what had caused that, but here's looking back on that. This was Balaam's plan to trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. So the plague was among the congregation of the Lord. Balaam's master plan had been to compromise the Israelites through intermarriage with pagans, and Israel had fallen into it. That counsel of Balaam is something that's still at work today, where we are sometimes urged to compromise the truth of God by compromising with the world. In Numbers chapter 32, we have the inheritance of Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh. Now the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad had an exceedingly large number of livestock, so when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that it was indeed a place suitable for livestock, they said, if we found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants as a possession. Do not take us across the Jordan. So Moses gave to them, to the sons of Gad and to the sons of Reuben and to the half-tribe of Joseph's son Manasseh, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, the king of Bashan, the land with its cities, with their territories, the cities of the surrounding land. Here on a map we have the land of the Amorites and the land of Bashan, and this area now is going to be given to 2.5 tribes, to Reuben, to Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. This will be now part of the Israelite territory. Finally, we have preparations for entering the land in chapters 33 through 36. In chapter 35, we have the detail of cities of refuge, where if a crime is committed, it is possible for one to run to one of these cities and to survive until it can be investigated what sort of crime it is. So there's 6 cities. 3 are going to be on the east side of the Jordan River. 3 will be on the west side of the Jordan River. 3 on the east side, 3 on the west. And a man can find refuge here until he's brought and judged before the congregation of Israel to see, was this an accidental death that he caused, or was it something that was premeditated? And so there's a distinction between accidental death versus premeditated murder. If it's premeditated, the city of refuge doesn't save you, but it does limit the judgment until after an investigation can be made. Finally, in chapter 36, there's an interesting issue about those women, it's sort of a men-women issue again, about those women who are heirs from their parents because there was no living male heir, and so the women are allowed to receive the inheritance. But now the issue comes up, if they've received the inheritance and they marry somebody from another tribe, won't that tribal inheritance now go to a different tribe? And so the judgment's given, if they're in that situation, they should take a husband only from their own tribe so that the tribal inheritance can remain secure. What God's doing, he's preserving his people through these regulations so that he can bring about the Messiah one day.